Good evening and welcome to the City of Greenfield Public Works Department Streets and Parks Workshop. We're going to start out by talking about the City of Greenfield strategic plan and the prioritization of the strategic plan. First one is to ensure a safe environment for all Greenfield community members, promote a diversified, sustainable economy, ensure a healthy, enriching environment for all Greenfield residents, develop first-in-class government structure and strategy. Ensure a safe environment for all Greenfield community members. To provide first-in-class police protection, provide first-in-class fire protection and EMS, provide best practice citywide infrastructure, provide best practice safe housing solutions. We also want to promote a diversified, sustainable economy. Make Greenfield a great place to do business, promote tourism, and ensure that all fees, charges, etc. are collected per the municipal code. We're going to ensure a healthy and enriching environment, again, for all Greenfield residents. Participate in regional agencies to maximize positive impact on Greenfield. Bring existing municipal and recreational options closer to Greenfield. Extend technology as wide as economically possible. Civic engagement, involvement from all segments of the community, and provide appropriate housing and housing programs for all Greenfield residents. Provide transit infrastructure to allow all residents, visitors, access to the widest variety of lifestyle options. Want to maintain parks and best practices form, offer a wide range of sports and recreation programs for youth and adults, offer a wide range of educational and cultural programs for the youth and adults, pursue green initiatives that are sustainable and eco-friendly, provide a healthy, clean environment which to live, and provide community outreach effort to secure resources to help those in need. The city wants to develop first-in-class government structure and strategy, hire the best qualified employees, balanced with desire to hire local and bilingual, train existing employees to be first-in-class service providers, follow best practices, personnel policies and procedures, increase and maintain transparency between all staff, leaders, and the public, implement best practices for all internal processes, all city assets to the highest and best use, and enhance revenue sources. Streamline operations, which is cost reductions, reduce legal liability exposure or reduce costs, develop best practice updates to the Greenfield General Plan and future strategies. Oops. We're going to talk about streets maintenance and improvements. We're going to talk about a few different aspects of those. First is we're going to talk about the streets inventory, and then we'll go into talking about planning, the general plan and the circulation element, which is chapter 3, the regional transportation plan, otherwise known as the RTP, the streets master plan, which is the basic for traffic impact fees, and planning tools with a pavement management system, which then comes to a 3-year pavement management plan, specific plans and traffic studies. And then we'll talk about maintenance and construction, in-house maintenance, contract regular maintenance, contract major repairs and heavy maintenance, and our capital improvement program. And there are multiple funding sources for the street maintenance and improvements. We have our streets general fund, our special maintenance assessment district funds, development traffic impact fees, Measure X county sales tax funds, SB1 RMRA funds, and other regional, state, and federal grant funds. All right, going ahead of me here. Okay, so our streets inventory. The total center line miles we have within the city is 35.19. The total lane miles, which is all directions that we are traveling, for each lane is 145.45 miles. And then we have an average pavement condition, condition index, a PCI, And it's on a scale from 1 to 100, 100 being the best, 1 being the worst. There's an example of the worst is, we know, it's 4th Street between Apple and Palm. An example of the best is all newer subdivisions that have special maintenance districts. We also have over 134 traffic signs. We have sidewalks, storm drains, striping, legends, and crosswalks. And the last update of the inventory was completed in 2019, and we're currently in process of doing the 2022 update. So street inventory, when we talk about traffic signs, these are all the different signs: stop signs, speed limit signs, street signs, crossing signs or crosswalks, no parking signs. And you can see on the schematic, I don't know how it shows up here on the screen, one of those colored sections is different signage. So these two actually represent the different speed limit signs that are within the city and where they're located. And then this is the next one, so we can get the whole city and just to show you what it looks like. So the signs are in school zones, ones that have the red around them. So we do have quite a few throughout the city that we have to maintain on a rotating schedule. Again, here's some more of the city outlining where all the speed limit signs are. Streets maintenance, again, we're going to talk about planning next. So we base everything off of our general plan, which is chapter 3, the circulation element. And then we also have a regional transportation plan, an RTP, which is throughout the county. The streets master plan, it's just the basic for the traffic impact fees. And then again, the planning tools for your pavement management plan, pavement management system, specific plans, and traffic studies. Planning, for what's the general plan circulation element? It's our main policy document that governs our traffic and street maintenance. It prioritizes construction of roadway improvements necessary to improve circulation and levels of service. It establishes a minimum level of service in the community. It sets street design standards that will foster optimal living environments. Standardizes streetscape elements on major public streets. Identifies measures necessary to enhance pedestrian and bicycle safety. Develops minimum emergency access standards. Addresses increased public transit use and bicycle usage. Assures adequate funding necessary for circulation improvements. As you can see here, this is a little photo of what's inside of our general plan. It tells you what type of streets there are. So the thickest line there is a 4-lane arterial. And then the next thickest line is a 2-lane collector. And then the thinnest lines are what we call local streets. Those are 2 lanes. Those are your residential streets where your homes and residential living are. Planning. What is a regional transportation plan? So we work with the Transportation Agency of Monterey County and their regional planning tool. We utilize them for grant applications to set regional funding priorities for projects with regional impacts in Greenfield, such as freeways, arterials, routes to regional destinations. And here's a current list of projects that we're currently working on with them. I don't know that you can see it very well. My apologies, it's a little bit small. I'll go ahead and read off of them. Apple Avenue Bridge over US 101. Looking at constructing a new bike and pedestrian bridge parallel to the existing overpass. Oak Road Bridge over US 101, widening the bridge for dual left turn lanes. Also removing or replacing the Oak Avenue Bridge. Some of these are past those. Traffic signal installations at El Camino Real and Thorn Road. US 101 and Walnut Avenue interchange to relocate and replace existing US 101 and Walnut Avenue interchange and to widen that out. 12th Street bike lanes, 13th Street bike lanes, bike lanes throughout lots of the residential areas. Elm Avenue bike lanes. Walnut Avenue bike lanes. Citywide street rehabilitation to repair, overlay, and seal coat all city streets, and that's citywide, part of our 3-year maintenance program. And then Pine Avenue as well. And then we're also looking at, through the RTP, El Camino Rio at Walnut Avenue, a roundabout to replace the signals to increase the capacity at that intersection. Recent street improvements. Since 2019, we've had quite a few new streets constructed through development. Primrose Way, Evergreen Way, Redwood Way, Birch Hill, Sycamore Street, Magnolia Street, Holly Street, Oak Terrace Drive, and El Paseo Way. And since 2017, the pavement maintenance and repair treatments that have been conducted are Walnut Avenue from 10th Street to about 660 feet southwest of that. Walnut Avenue from El Paseo Road, Elm Street from 13th to Via Salvagno, 13th Street from Elm to Spark, Cherry Avenue from 10th to about 1,300 feet of Cherry Street on the southwest. New streets in the Vintage Meadow subdivision on Vintage Meadow 1, and new street in Oak Terrace subdivision. So looking at this, the photo up here, you can see that the red outlined areas are new streets that were constructed in since 2019, along with the ones to the right also, which are Terrace Drive at Oak Avenue, which you'll be seeing some construction happening soon for some residential homes. That street was actually constructed a few years back. And then also El Paseo Way at Walnut Avenue. Maintenance and construction in-house. So city staff, they're responsible for the in-house maintenance of all of the streets. They do pothole repairs, temporary pavement repairs, striping pavement, curb painting, signage maintenance, street sweeping. They also do storm drain maintenance, special assignments, urgent repairs, and this is just a short list to give you an idea. One moment, please. Can I do that? Technical difficulties, one moment. Okay. My apologies for that. Let me get to where we left off. Okay. You can also see here in the planned contract maintenance, this is part of the 3-year pavement maintenance improvement program that I had mentioned earlier. So we are in design right now for which areas are going to have dig outs and then replaced asphalt and then a treatment over the whole street. So you can see the areas, the streets that are highlighted in green, those are the first to roll out. The ones in the light orangish yellow are the second to roll out, and then the ones that are in red. My goal is The city's goal is to try to get the first and second together and out to bid here in the next few months. But at minimum, the green, which is the first year. And then we should be commencing construction on resurfacing those streets this spring. We also have multiple planned contract work at Walnut Avenue. This one's a little bit more convoluted looking because there's multiple contractors doing the work there. Some is going to be contracted by the city and some are by the private developments that are being permitted at this time. So as you can see on the top section there, that is in front of Mary Chapel School on Walnut. And that's actually going to have a mid-block crosswalk right here where I'm circling at here. This is going to be widen the sidewalk and improvements on the side. This area here is also in design, is programmed and funded, the entire red area, which is going to be sidewalk and pavement improvements. Area here too. The area in yellow down here is going to be full frontage improvements. That's just going east on the highway on Walnut, and the Starbucks and the AM/PM are right in here. So this is going to be a part of the hotel development that's coming in, that's in the process of being permitted. This green area here is also full frontage improvements as a condition of the travel center development. It's also in the permitting phase. The circle here and the small yellow circle are going to be future roundabout areas. So we're looking at doing that at the interchanges of Highway 101 and Walnut. And we have project planning in progress. So the Walnut Avenue improvements that I was just talking about, the goals are to widen Walnut and add an additional westbound lane from ECR to 101. Infill sidewalk between ECR, that's El Camino Real, and 3rd Street, improve Walnut Avenue and the 101 interchange. Study mid-block crosswalk at Walnut Avenue and California Pizza Kitchen. Interchange capacity improvements at Walnut and ECR intersection, and also perform a master traffic study to affirm the collective benefits of the above elements. You can see here, maybe, I apologize, it's hard to see up there. Different planning and designing budgets and construction budgets. So to widen Walnut and add the additional westbound lane from ECR to 101, the construction budget is about $850,000. Planning and design budget's $150,000, and that has not been funded yet. The infill sidewalk between ECR and 3rd Street is $105,000 for planning and design, and an estimate of $885,000 to construct. And there is currently a $590,000 grant and $400,000 from the street funds that are currently funded. Improving Walnut Avenue and the 101 interchange capacity is a really large project. The planning and design budget would be $500,000. And then depending on what the outcome is of the study on planning that, whether or not it would be widening the bridge or installing 2 roundabouts. You can see widening the bridge would be $38 million and installing 2 roundabouts would be $12 million. That is not currently funded. Walnut Avenue and El Paseo Way intersection. The budget is $90,000 with an estimated construction budget of $300,000. Looking at having some of that done by the future developers. The study of the mid-block crosswalk on Walnut Avenue at Burger King and California Pizza Kitchen. Design budget is $11,000 and construction budget is $90,000. Section capacity improvements at Walnut and ECR intersection. That is a large study that's going to be taking place. Estimates are there for planning and design of $200,000. Construction budget, a construction budget of between 5.4 and $6.3 million. In order to perform the master traffic study to affirm the collective benefits from the above elements, and that would be about $35,000. Funding sources. Where do we get the money to do all of this work? We get them from the Streets General Fund, the Special Maintenance Assessment District funds, gas tax funds, Development Traffic Impact funds, Measure X County Sales Tax funds, SB1 RMRA funds, and lots of other regional, state, and federal special grant funds. So funding sources, Development Impact funds. The last traffic impact fee study was adopted in 2005. The basis is that improvements for which the city would fund through the traffic impact fee is estimated at just over $54 million. The cost breakdown is as follows. For intersection improvements, $24.85 million. And the Highway 101 bridges, just over $27.5 million. The traffic impact fee study is currently being updated. We have issued a request for proposal and the proposals are being evaluated. Funding source of Measure X County Sales Tax Fund. TAMC placed the Transportation Safety and Investment Plan, or Measure X, on the ballot November 8th of 2016, and it was approved with a 67.7% from county voters. Measure is anticipated to generate an estimated $20 million annually, for a total of $600 million over 30 years through retail transactions and use tax of 3/8%. Revenue from the sales tax measure will be used to fund transportation safety and mobility projects in Monterey County. Funding sources, the SB1 RMRA funds. In April of 2017, the governor signed Senate Bill 1, also known as the Road Repair and Accountability Act of 2017. The four sources of revenues for the RMRA are a 12-cent per gallon gasoline excise tax effective November 1st, 2017, a 20-cent per gallon diesel excise tax increase effective November 1st, 2017. Is that better? Thank you, Ed. A 20-cent per gallon diesel excise tax increase effective November 1st, 2017. Vehicle registration surcharge effective January 1st, 2018. $100 per year zero emission vehicle registration surcharge effective January 1st, 2020. The distribution of funds is made using the same formula that applies to the existing base 18-cent per gallon gasoline excise tax. The city's annual allocation estimate of RMRA funding for fiscal year 22-23 is $419,467. The city of Greenfield has previously, through SB1 program, completed the following projects: commercial residential alleys repaving, including stormwater and pedestrian improvements, commercial in 2017-18 and 2018-19. 2019-20, pedestrian safety and accessibility improvements downtown and the vicinity of schools, high density housing, and high pedestrian traffic areas. In 2021, similar to 2019 and 20, pedestrian safety and accessibility improvements downtown, the vicinity of schools, high density housing, and high pedestrian traffic areas. Fiscal year 21-22, pedestrian, bicycle, safety, and accessible parking improvements. This project included construction of accessible parking on ECR downtown, crosswalk safety improvements, sidewalk repairs, infill sidewalk improvements, pedestrian and bicycle signage, legends, and other pedestrian and bicycle safety improvements at the local school. Other funding sources are special grant funds from the regional, state, and federal funding sources. The RSTP competitive grant, which we were awarded $590,000 in 2020 for pedestrian and bicycle improvements between 14th and 3rd Streets. The TAMC Bicycle Wayfinding Signs Program, which was funded through TAMC, that has been recently approved and has yet to be constructed. The Regional Monterey Salinas Transit Bus Route Planning, which we, if you're familiar, there is a steering committee, and I believe that's going to voting here shortly on which priority projects that should be installed by the city. And there's a $250,000 grant to do those installations. Safe Routes to School, which is sponsored by TAMC and the state. Active Transportation Project grants that are federal funded. California Development Block Grant funds, and Reconnecting Communities Pilot Discretionary Grant Program, which is federally funded. Okay, we're going to go into the parks overview now. We're going to talk about park and green space inventory, maintenance, in-house, contract, regular maintenance, contract major repairs and heavy maintenance, the capital improvement program, and the funding sources, which are park funds, special maintenance assessment districts. So the city has a total of 23 parks and 2 indoor recreation facilities. The neighborhood parks, which are the smaller parks, compile of 8.9 acres. They are Apricot Street Park, Barolo Circle Park, Baywood Park, Cambria Park, Centennial Rotary Park, 5th Street Park, Hicks Park, Mariposa Park, Parkside Street Park, Primavera Park, Rotary Centennial Park, sorry, I said that twice, Tuscany Park, Tyler Park, Vintage Park, and Vista Verde Park. And then we also have 4 unimproved open space parks, which compile 31.47 acres, which are Lexington Park, St. Charles Place Park, Traditional Park, and 2nd Street Park. And then the 2 large community parks, which are Patriot Park, which is 19.16 acres, and Greenfield Park on Apple Avenue at 3rd Street, which is 3.1 acres. There are 4 new parks that are pending construction. One is Oak Terrace Pocket Park, and that's going to be on Terrace Court off of Oak. And then the 3 Vintage Meadows Pocket Parks that are in construction with the housing over there. Recent park development in the Greenfield Community Park. In 2019, the city of Greenfield completed the 3-acre park, and Proposition 84, also known as the Safe Drinking Water Act, Water Quality and Supply, Flood Control, River and Coastal Protection Bond Act of 2006, provided funding for the acquisition of and development of the park. The grant amount awarded to the city for the new community park was just over $2.9 million. And that new park includes new bathrooms, burned earth and vegetation screen, and wind barrier trees, a boulder and climbing garden, full-size tennis court, gazebo, a half-court basketball court, parking lot with 4 spaces, picnic areas, multiple age-appropriate play areas with play equipment, a turf play area, walking and jogging trail that follows the perimeter of the project site, and water fountain. And if you haven't visited that park, you can see this is the aerial of it today. It's quite a vast park, and there's quite a lot to do there. Some other developments in parks is through construction, development, and residential areas. So new development is conditioned to provide park and green space elements when appropriate. Recent additions, the park inventory are the 3 Vintage Meadows pocket parks, which are highlighted in green off of, you can see it's between 13th and Elm. And you can go into that neighborhood and you can enjoy those parks. So this is the Oak Terrace Pocket Park that I was mentioning earlier. It's a very small park. There's going to be some housing built there shortly. Terrace Drive is there, and when they build those homes, they will be building this park. It's already been pre-approved, planned for quite some time. And so that'll be a nice neighborhood park if you live in the area. Maintenance. What are we doing in-house? We are fully maintaining Patriot Park, dealing with the gophers there. We are in gopher maintenance at least 3 days a week and getting between 8 and 11 gophers a week. The Greenfield Community Park, we do other parks and assignments. Parks Department also maintains the medians and parkway strips on ECR, parks that are not, and any parks that are not part of the maintenance assessment districts. We also have a contract with Smith and Enright Landscaping, and they are our maintenance contractor for the maintenance assessment districts. They also maintain the stormwater retention basins that are not part of the assessment districts, and the storm drains and urgent repairs. We have falling trees, falling limbs, things of that nature. And that's just a sample of what they do. So this is an example of one of our special maintenance districts, just to give you an idea of what's going on. This one on the left is on Ordona Circle. So the maintenance district, which is Smith and Enright's contract, actually does the maintain of the park and the pond, the drainage pond that's there, and also out there by the sidewalk. When you see any landscaping there in front of the sidewalk, they're maintaining that. The same goes on the right. Any of that outlined area in green is being maintained by our contract, and that is what your assessment fees through your property taxes are paying for the landscape and lighting maintenance district. Again, here's another example of maintenance district 1. It's quite large and vast in different areas of the city, but you can see the areas that are being maintained. Now this is maintenance area 2. This one on the left is near Cesar Chavez Elementary School, Walnut and Thorpe, that area. You can see that park that backs up to 2nd Street, that long park is being maintained by Smith and Enright, as well as the other park and the parkways. And then to the right on Los Manzanitas Drive, you can see there's a pond there. That is also maintained utilizing those assessments. This is also Maintenance District 2. On the left, it's the south end of town near the high school. And you can see there's quite a bit of maintenance, if not all, being done by the contractor, which again, your assessment fees through the county, through your property taxes are paying for that service. Same with Terra Verde and Traditions. And then we'll be going into a maintenance district 3, which is going to be newer, and The same goes for those where we're taking care of the pocket parks and the drainage basins, and then the pocket park at Terra. So we also have contract major repairs and heavy maintenance. Every 7 years, we actually do a park and green space repair inventory, which was last completed in 2015. So it is budgeted again for this fiscal year. And so what that does is it allows us to go out and say, walk everything and figure out what needs to be repaired. Are there sprinklers out? Is there a tree gone? And different, it just varied a lot of different variables. So that will be happening this fiscal year. In 2015 to 2016, we did a citywide park play equipment repair project. So that scope was to install loose fill, safety surfacing, wear mats, fluctuating ADA ramps, remove graffiti on play equipment, touch up or repaint play equipment as required. There were multiple parks that were included in that. Apricot Park, Baywood Park, Barolo Park, Vintage Park, Tyler Park, Tuscany Park, Patriot Park, Fifth Street Park, Primavera Park, Parkside Park, and Centennial Park. So we are looking at, we know that the ground, the loose, well, I guess the loose fill safety surfacing is what they say. We're looking at replacing that. We know a lot of that is been damaged or blown off or taken or just is gone. So we're looking into getting that done this year, this fiscal year, and to make it safer for everybody. Patriot Park Little League field lighting and parking lot lighting upgrade was completed in 2018, and the bathroom upgrade and concession stand was completed in 2019. So the park, yes, come on up.
Bueno, José Vázquez. I saw you give more time to the baseball park. Okay, I see you right here. You know, about the soccer fields, we need more to fix it because when the children come in to play, the park is not very good to play. We need to fix it. Make it a football park accessible to the people, to the younger children to play, because you never going to where it is.
Yes, I have them there.
You see what it is?
Yes.
I got the people behind with me. He told you what it is. Because these people come in because here don't have no lights, no improvement for a long time. One of these people to play football coming to tell you something really what it is. Another thing is when you're talking about the streets, I live in 408 Tejama Way. For 5 years or 6 years, we're supposed to come in to fix the sidewalk. You never don't come to fix it. It take about 6 years ago to come. They're supposed to fix it, but not right now. They don't want to fix it. And
Is that through the repair program?
no. I don't know what it is, but he's supposed to come in to fix it. 408 Tejama Way. This is where I live. He do everything, paint and everything, but 6 years ago, don't come in. Another thing is, in that street, we need to put a video cameras because a lot of people running very fast. When you come in, when you turn to the Walnut and Tejama Way, turn very fast. And sometimes in the night make a lot of noise. This is what I think. But don't forget, there's some little kids coming to tell you what it is.
Okay, well, I just have a little bit more and then we can get into some more questions. So, the capital improvement program for parks. There is money this fiscal year for Patriot Park for the baseball fields rehabilitation. The city is working with the Little League to rehabilitate the infields of all the baseball fields. In addition to city budgeted funds, the Little League has committed to provide volunteers to conduct a portion of the work in order for the city to rehabilitate the fields to the maximum extent. Soccer fields mitigation, there is budget for soccer field mitigation. And we do have a contract with Scheid Vineyards to help do the maintenance on that. And so the city will be closing the soccer fields via Scheid Vineyards on November 14th for a rest period through January of 2023. And this will allow the city to complete reseeding and restoration of the fields with budgeted funds. So the goal is, like you were saying with the soccer fields, they need attention, but they also need that rest period in order for the grass to grow back, for us to get the gophers in a better manner, to get them more under control, take care of all the holes. So the goal is to have you a nice playing field. And so that does take that rest period. And I know that other cities do the same. The idea is during this time of year, people aren't playing as much because of the rain. And so we're looking at doing that. And so we will be closing the gates and we'll beginning some signage up letting people know that it is closed. And I'm almost done, so you can questions after. So I just wanted to let you know who our streets and parks crew is. Sometimes people do know who they are because they're out in the street in the parks all the time. We have a full-time public works director, that is me. And we also have a full-time public works maintenance superintendent who runs both parks. Just a minute. As soon as I'm done, okay? So, field staff, we have 3 full-time maintenance workers, 2 full-time parks maintenance workers, and 2 part-time maintenance workers. They also have support staff, which includes a mechanic and a full-time custodial technician. And we do have vacant positions. So we are lacking staff. We need to hire a full-time maintenance worker 2 position, a full-time assistant mechanic, which is actually open right now on the website. Final filing date, I believe, is Thursday. And then 3 full-time maintenance workers. So those will be coming out soon. So we're trying to get our staff up to where it's supposed to be so that we can provide the service to the public and the citizens for what they are expected to have. Strategic training goals for staff, community satisfaction and service, and work with them to have community engagement skills and public awareness, and job training, interpersonal skills, technical skills, program planning skills, career opportunities and job satisfaction, leadership skills, and cooperative skills. And with that, I'd like to conclude the presentation. Thank you very much. We will have questions and comments. And I just wanted to note that my phone number and email are available here. Contact me anytime. I'm Jamie Tugel, and I'm the Public Works Director here at the city.
Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Jose Garcia. I've been a resident here in Greenfield 56 years. I did 29 years in the Army. And I have one question, but now I got 2. One is I talked to a peace officer because I live on Oak. And I've been trying to get speed bumps on Oak Avenue School. The traffic there is very, very bad. I got him last week to take out that little trailer to check out the speed. It's working, but sooner or later, they're gonna take it and it's gonna start all over again. I live right on the corner of Tom Rogers and Oak Avenue. I see so many cars run the stop sign 50, 60 miles an hour. We need to put stop signs before an incident happens like it did over on 4th Street. Where the little girl got hit. And I don't want to see that. Now, I took pictures of the stop signs and the crosswalk. The crosswalk is beautiful, but what they did wrong, they put the stop sign in front of the crosswalk. So what happens, a car comes in there and he stops, and this other car coming this way doesn't see the kids gonna cross. I already seen 3 kids almost get hit there. They need to put that stop sign behind the crosswalk, not in front of it.
Which intersection is that? You're speaking
Right
of?
there right in front of the Oak Avenue School.
Right in
It's the
front of
only
the school?
crosswalk there.
I'll take a look at that.
No, I brought pictures, but anyway, that needs to be, something needs to be done. Now, the peace officer, I'm not gonna mention all names, I don't wanna get him in trouble. He told me about the speed bumps, that they can't do it because it slows down emergency traffic 15 seconds. Now, where he came up with that number, I have no clue. But that needs to be directed, right? It needs to be done. Something needs to be done immediately. I've seen too many little kids trying to get hurt, even adults. But it's right in front of the school. And it's because something's gotta be done. And I hate to say it, but hopefully they don't decide to do something after a kid gets hit. Because like I said, you got the crosswalk here and you got the stop sign over here. The car comes between the stop sign and the crosswalk. Now, a car coming this way doesn't see the kid. He just sees a car and the stop sign. So he takes off and the kids are behind the car. And that's always, it happens like when there's the metro bus or any car. But if it's a little Honda, yeah, you can see them. But if it's a pickup, you can't see those kids. And
Yeah, this
also
is the
when they
first I
park in
made
front of
aware.
my house, even though it's red, they all park right there. And I've seen them where they're backing up and the kids walking this crosswalk. And I go out there and I tell them, they yell at me, but I don't care. I can yell back too. But something needs to be directed. You need to go out there and look at that.
And I will.
Okay, now my other question is Patriot Park. Now we're talking about, my thing was, I was coming to see about this, but now that you brought up Patriot Park. Now, Patriot Park, I don't know if you remember, we voted to name that park Patriot Park. And the reason was the missile base that made the Patriot missile. And if I'm correct, the missile's still at the city yard. They're supposed to display it up there and everything. Now, if they don't do that, why don't they change the name?
I am not aware of any of the history of the naming.
Well, like I said, I've been here 56 years. So I've been around. But anyway, last time I saw it, it was laying on the ground there, because even I got pictures of it in the Greenfield newspaper where they had it displayed in front of the name. They had it all displayed, but nothing ever happened. And so the company is getting gets a free advertisement for the park, Patriot Park. And you look into that, see what you find out,
Yeah,
or change the
that's-
name.
That's,
What would it take to change the name?
I can't answer that off the top of my head.
Okay. That's all I have, but like I said, number one thing is go to the school, check it out.
I will.
All right, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Hmm. Yeah, you had your hand up.
My name's Aiden, and what I wanted to bring up today is that why are you guys gonna close the park over there by Patriot for a month?
So the reason we have to close it is in order for it to all regrow and rehabilitate. So there's areas there that don't have grass.
And you guys are barely doing it now after all the years.
We can do it, well, we just started the contract this last year for the maintenance, and so now we're
Even
getting,
though you guys did the contract, they still ain't doing the job right.
okay. I'm working on getting with the contractor to get some more specific detail and the expectations with them. So we are working on it. We're moving forward.
I play on that field.
Mhm.
Me and my teammates, sometimes we all get hurt, but sometimes we think it's a part of the game. But it's not always just part of the game. Because sometimes other kids, they don't got opportunities like us.
Mhm.
They can't go into sports because of bad decisions they made before they wanted to do it. Like someone probably forced them to make that bad decision and they have to live with it for the rest of their life. So like what I'm trying to make you understand is that kids like us, like we healthy kids. We don't like doing anything bad. Sport like gets us out of the house, makes us do fun activities. Other people, they stay inside. They don't like coming outside. They're just attached to it. But since you guys are closing down the soccer field, me and my team, we're not gonna have anywhere to practice at.
So it's kind of a twofold. It's tough to close it because we know how important it is for the kids to be out there playing soccer. But at the same time, we want to make it safe and make it,
But is it important to you guys?
yes.
You guys haven't been doing your guys' job right. Shy hasn't been doing the job right.
So it's my word, I'm been here about 6 months and I'm trying to turn everything around and move forward and get everything in a better place.
6 months. I've been here for my whole life. Honestly,
Yeah.
there has been no
But all-
change.
And you're
At
gonna
all.
be seeing change.
Seeing
if you
change
haven't talked-
after 11 years that I've been here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I can't speak for before my time. But we are moving to make the changes in all the different areas of public works. It's going to start on Monday. Because we're gonna rehabilitate the field.
You guys couldn't make this contract long ago with Shy so they can.
It
fix up
was,
our
it
field?
was made a year ago, a little over a year ago, but it
Out of
wasn't
those 12
being
months,
managed properly.
those 12 months, they couldn't do at least a little bit of work to the field, at least fix the soil. Because all they
I
do is
can't
just
answer
water the
that.
grass. That's all we see, watering the grass. Ripped nets and goals messed up. You guys don't take time out of your day, come look down our field. Baseball field, you guys can see them just from riding down the street or like crossing. Since us soccer players and our field, we're in the back of them, so where the trees are hidden. We're hidden behind the tree. We're technically invisible to you guys.
I have been to the soccer fields,
How many
And-
times?
excuse me,
How many times?
twice.
Twice.
I've been there twice and there has been during the week during school, there hasn't been any kids playing when I've been there
How many times have you been there out of the 6 months you've been here?
twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
I've been gone more than you
I understand.
6 months.
Yeah, and what I'm explaining is that we are moving forward to make it better. So we can't go backwards. I can't fix what was happening in the past or how it was being maintained in the past. I can only do forward.
But right now, you were talking about the past, how 2009. So since you can't talk about the past right now, you can talk about the past when you were doing your little Zoom thing
I can talk about the projects that were done,
in the past.
and that's what I did. And then I talked about what was going to be happening in the future in this fiscal year. Yes,
So what if Shy doesn't do a job in the year?
then they won't have a contract.
But even though they haven't been doing the job right, they still are in the contract.
And again, as I said earlier, they weren't being managed properly by city. And that's something that we're changing.
So your crew that you showed right now on the projector, they weren't doing the job right. The city,
It was not the crew.
our city is failing right now. Like, we have the worst fields out of Soledad, King City, Salinas, Gonzales. Have you seen how their fields are better than ours?
Yes, I have,
Which ones have you gone to?
which is why I've been moving forward now. I'm familiar with Salinas, Gonzales, and King City.
Have you checked out the one in Soledad? How
I
theirs,
did not mention Soledad, so no.
how theirs is way nicer than ours, even though they're closer.
Yeah, there's nothing more I can add besides we're moving forward and looking and trying to close it down to make it better. And in order to do that, that's all I can say to you, is that we're gonna make it better.
I really love that you guys made it better, but if there's no change within the months that you're closing in and people still getting hurt because of potholes, what does that mean for Shy?
As I mentioned, then they wouldn't be able to extend their contract.
Now, who would you guys be in a contract with?
We would have to go out for it, out to bid for it.
All right, That's it.
Yes. You gonna get the tractor?
Ok, buenas. Yo soy, mi nombre es Antonio Castrejón.
I'm Antonio Castrejón. Good evening.
Soy residente desde hace 35 años
I've been a resident here for 35 years.
de nuestra hermosa ciudad de Greenfield.
Beautiful town.
Más que nada me paro para dar las gracias que,
I came up here first to thank you
que están poniendo manos a la obra
that you are putting all hands on deck,
para trabajar principalmente en los campos de fútbol.
especially on football.
Es mi primera visita, es mi primera visita a este lugar.
This is my first visit here.
Después de 35 años, lo voy a hacer más seguido.
Welcome.
Bienvenido.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Me estoy involucrando por el bienestar de la niñez, de mis nietos, de mi hijo.
I'm getting involved on behalf of my children, my grandchildren.
Ahora que ya tengo tiempo para ellos, ya tenemos menos trabajo, ya podemos estar más con la comunidad.
Now I have them, there's work, and I have
Y para sus 6 meses que tiene, estamos avanzando.
And for these 6 months, we are advancing.
En su trabajo, porque me dice que tiene 6 meses.
Because, you said that you've been here for 6 months. So in 6 months,
Entonces, de antemano yo le doy una felicitación, porque vamos a trabajar muy pronto para sacar a la juventud de la droga, de todo.
yeah, and I want to thank you. Advance, what we're trying to do here is make sure we keep the kids off the drugs.
Thank you and you're welcome.
Gracias.
Sí.
Ah,
Y esos representantes son los que queremos en Greenfield. Gracias, muy amable.
and
Gracias. Permiso.
Thank you.
Muy buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Mi nombre es Juan García Santos.
My name is Juan Garcia Santos.
Tengo 6 hijos aquí en Greenfield.
I have 6 children here in.
Uno está en Alarming, uno está en
One's in the
Alarming,
Army,
otro está en la universidad
one's going to the university,
y otro está por irse a la Academia Marina.
and one's at the Marine Academy.
Me enfoco mucho a los niños porque todos mis hijos son jugadores de fútbol.
I'm really interested in looking after the young people because I have kids who are, ha dicho que tiene
Sí,
hijos que
tengo
son-
todos son fútbol,
all
soccer.
of them are soccer players. Yeah.
Porque desde que llegué aquí en Greenfield, ahí en la Patriota, los que han estado encargados de la cancha nunca ha visto algo avanzado que arreglen la cancha porque hay mucho hoyo que los niños lastiman.
Yeah, all the time as I come here, it was called Patriot Park, you know? Yeah, is that where they play the soccer? Okay. There's, you know, it's not in good shape and they haven't really done anything to fix the surface and so on.
Y a eso me enfoco mucho porque me interesa que arreglen la cancha. No sé con quién vamos a hablar, no sé a quién vamos a dirigir, pero necesitamos que hagan algo por la cancha de
And
fútbol.
we
¿sabe?
really need them to fix that up. I mean, I'm looking after the well-being of the young people. here, and I don't know who we need to address for this, this problem.
So that's what I'm working on,
Yo estoy trabajando en eso,
is making it, the field better.
para que esté mejor el
safer.
campo.
Es un placer.
That
Y
would
muchas
be- that
gracias.
is- That's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
put my info up there?
Vamos
Vamos
a poner su información para que usted se contacte con ella.
Ajá, está bien.
Okay, that's good.
Me vuelvo otra vez a esta junta porque yo a veces me incluyo mucho por las juntas para los niños. Me interesa que se mejoren los niños. No quiero que andan en las calles o a hacer droga o a hacer plantillas.
Yeah, I come to these meetings. I came to this meeting. I've come to previous meetings, because I'm very interested in the well-being of the young people. I don't want them hanging out on the streets and taking drugs and things like that.
Yeah, and that's what the goal of the city is as
Y es
well.
el objetivo de
Okay.
este año.
We want to
Y-
have lots of activities,
Y otra
opportunities
parte,
for the children,
Muchas actividades,
lots of activities,
queremos
things to do for the children.
muchas actividades para los jóvenes.
muy bien.
Very well.
Y otro,
Another thing,
porque me preocupa porque todos los coaches, aquí tenemos unos cuantos coaches aquí, y ellos,
unos cuantos que.
los coaches que dirigen los equipos, coach, entrenador,
Oh, coaches.
ajá,
coaches.
coach, ajá.
Yeah, we have some coaches here, yeah.
Porque ellos tienen que llevar a los niños diferentes, como Soledad, en González, en hasta Salinas, a manejar, llevar para que ellos jueguen,
And
porque
then-
aquí no quieren venir a jugar por la mal
Oh,
cancha.
okay. And so the coaches are always having to transport the players to Soledad and Gonzalez and all these other places because they don't want to come here.
Yeah, and that's something we're looking at, trying to repair.
Que estamos
Yes.
tratando de arreglar también.
Esperemos,
I
porque
hope so,
aquí en Greenfield ha crecido mucho.
because Greenfield has grown a lot.
Oh, yeah.
En lugar de como González, como Soledad, ellos tienen mejores canchas que nosotros.
Gonzalez, Soledad, they have better fields.
So what we'd like to do, we're gonna meet with Scheid,
Y
And-
estamos colaborando con
and get-
Shai.
them back up on the proper maintenance
Estamos tratando de.
through the rest
hacer
period.
el mantenimiento adecuado.
And
apropiado.
we'd also invite members of the public and the soccer league to meet with us
La liga
so we can talk about
para
opportunities for members like you to help,
miembros de ustedes.
To keep that
está
field.
dispuesto a ayudar
to keep the field nice.
para mantener
Safe.
bien las canchas.
Muchas gracias.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So, we're gonna put my contact
Vamos a
information,
poner mi información aquí en la
the
pantalla
telephone and email,
con mi correo electrónico, email.
and I have a translator.
Y tengo un traductor.
Okay.
To help.
Traductor,
She answers.
Si usted se comunica conmigo, tengo un
Ajá,
traductor.
está bien.
Call they
That's
speak
fine.
Spanish. She'll speak
Puede
Spanish.
llamar, habla español.
Está bien.
Yeah, so I invite phone calls and
Y yo me
emails to talk
invito
about it.
a que ustedes llamen. Voy a poner su información de contacto ahí.
Yeah,
Muy
we'd
bien.
like to get that communication going with all the soccer teams, the coaches, the public.
Ustedes.
Sí, nos interesa porque la semana pasada vinieron más niños. Lo que pasa es que ahora no, por la causa del agua no llegaron, pero de hecho ahorita con esta junta ya son 3 veces. Vine primero junta y el segundo día.
So this is the third time I've been here and some of them didn't come tonight because of the rain and stuff, but yeah.
Pero si quieren que vengan más niños para que vean que sí quieren que haya cambio en la cancha, podemos invitar a los demás niños que vengan.
So we can, in the future, bring some more, young people here, so that they can see what's happening with the field.
Yes, and I invite young people to come to these meetings, especially to be a part of the community and the government to work together. We really encourage it, but we also want to encourage, like I said, the coaches and the
Que quisieran
parents,
que los
the people who care,
entrenadores, los padres,
who want to help. So
los
we
que
can keep
quieren
this all going as
ayudar
a collaborative effort.
la comunidad en una colaboración comunitaria.
Ok, muy bien, muchas gracias.
Okay, very
Thank
well,
you.
thank you. Good afternoon. My name is
Juan,
Juan.
pues nada, no es algo rápido.
This will be brief.
Ya todo el niño y el señor dijeron. Lo que ocupamos es también unos baños portátiles por lo mientras, sabemos que es mucho dinero que se ocupa para hacer.
As they said, so they've spoken already. What we also need is some of those portable restrooms. Yeah.
Porque sabemos que es mucho dinero que se necesita para hacer un baño estático.
Because we know that permanent bathrooms or restrooms, we know that very expensive.
Sí, y como en esta temporada se necesitan unas luces.
And also at this time of the year, we need some lighting.
Porque tenemos muchos niños que practicamos.
There are a lot of kids who are practicing.
Lo que van a hacer está bien de cerrar el parque para mejorarlo, está bien.
It's good that you're gonna close the field.
Pero tenemos
improve
esos
them,
niños,
fix them up.
tenemos esos niños que necesitamos otro lugar donde entrenarlos.
But these young people are gonna need another place where they can go and practice.
And there are different areas there at Patriot Park. There's one area right by the basketball court,
Donde las canchas de-
but I don't know the size.
Ah,
It might not be regulation size.
A lo mejor no es el tamaño reglamentario.
But, okay, so yeah, for that, but also, because we have gophers.
sí.
Y
Problem
también
there
es que
too.
tenemos- es que hay topos ahí que
Sí.
están-
So that's the hard part about having a rest period
lo
is
difícil de-
that it closes it for the kids and they don't have somewhere to
no tienen
practice.
donde
Unless they
practicar,
do smaller,
entrenar.
half.
Ok, sí, en este tiempo es muy corto el día y si nos pudieron ayudar con luces.
Yeah,
Porque-
well, in any case, this is the time of year where it gets dark early, so it's lighting.
Porque queremos que la comunidad tenga un atractivo para la juventud, que se enfoquen en el deporte y no en las calles.
Yeah, because we need the community to provide things for the children to do, some healthy activities for the children to do, so they're not just hanging out on the street.
Ah,
And that's something we can look into, but I can't guarantee lighting. It's, you're talking a really large field like that, you're talking hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million
Serían
to put in light. So,
centenares de
ah,
It could be a long-term
sí,
plan.
sí,
Yeah.
yo entiendo, pero no necesita alumbrar todo.
No,
Con
no,
una
it doesn't
parte.
have to be complete, it doesn't have to be like full lighting.
Well, and that could be something that we work with in talking and make meetings
Es algo que
with
podemos,
the league and the parents and the kids to see what you guys would like.
Para ver qué es lo que ustedes desean.
We can at least start that
Por
communication.
lo menos
start having
podemos
some meetings.
comenzar la
Sí.
conversación.
Lo que venimos a hacer ahorita también es que sepan qué es lo que ocupamos, nada más.
Yeah, the reason we're here is just to let you know what our needs are. That's
No,
it.
and I appreciate that.
Ok.
Y le agradezco.
So what we want to do, I mentioned earlier is staff is we're gonna meet with Shide probably next
Vamos.
week.
Eh, Reunir con Shai.
And then once we get that communication with them on what's happening and what our expectations are,
Luego,
then we would like to start meeting.
luego
With-
reunir con usted.
I would say the key members of the soccer family,
Ajá,
right? Your family.
Las familias
You know,
de los jóvenes.
so,
que juegan a-
Because it's productive. You, what was that? Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a process. It takes time.
Yeah.
But I want to open those
Ay,
communications.
también,
Yo quiero
Yeah.
abrir la comunicación entre
Yes.
ustedes. con
Ah.
ustedes.
ay, también sabemos que tiene poco tiempo, es difícil hacer todo muy rápido.
Yeah, I know that it's hard to do a lot in a short period of time,
Pero queremos que sepa lo que necesitan.
but we just want you to know what our needs.
And I appreciate that. I'm
Sí,
glad you're bringing that up.
Pero sí, los baños es muy importante porque van mujeres,
Yeah, it's
niñas,
important, this, what I said about the portable, restrooms, because, you know, women come, young ladies, kind of thing. Yeah.
Ok, es todo. Muchas
Oh.
gracias.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much. That's all.
Anyone else? Anyone?
Buenas tardes,
Good afternoon.
mi nombre es Emilio Altamirano.
My name is Emilio
Altamirano.
Altamira.
Soy coach voluntario
I'm a volunteer coach.
Thank
ah,
you.
Thank you. Gracias.
por 10 años. He estado trabajando con niños
I've been working with kids for 10 years now.
y espero seguir trabajando ya que pues los sacamos tanto de teléfonos, juegos, de la casa, de estar encerrados. Están hablando ellos
I
ahorita.
want to keep doing that. And I want to get them off their phone, get them out of the house and get them, you know, participating in something. good.
Ahorita no salimos nosotros de jugar de Salinas por lo mismo de los campos, de lo que estamos hablando ahorita aquí.
Que no salieron.
No salimos nosotros, casi siempre jugamos en Salinas.
Oh, okay. And
Okay.
then, and like it was said before, we always have to go all the way to Salinas to play.
Porque los equipos de fuera no quieren venir a
Yeah,
jugar aquí.
because the other towns, the other players in the other towns don't want to come, don't want to come.
Y como dijo ella, que si podemos ayudar nosotros también en los campos, nos pueden avisar, pueden decir, nosotros juntamos a los papás o uno como coach junta a papás y podemos apoyarlos también en esa forma.
And like you said, we can help out with this, with the issue of the fields, we can, get the other parents together and collaborate with you on that.
I like that.
Me gusta.
That's what we
Y
want.
pues gracias también por darnos la oportunidad de venir aquí y esperemos seguir aquí apoyándola, tanto usted y que nosotros nos apoye por los niños.
Y thank you for allowing us to come here and we're here to work with you and to help the children.
Great. Thank you and you're welcome.
Muy bien, estupendo. Muchas gracias.
Anybody else?
¿Alguien más?
Is there anybody online?
Todo el mundo viene por lo mismo. Va a ser the same thing.
Oh, I have two online as well. Who's up first? Beatrice, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, you're on.
Hi, my name is Beatrice Sanchez. I'm a physical therapist and I have both of my kids in the soccer league for the last 2 years. And there's hundreds of kids that are in soccer participated. And I just wanted to say, like, they've been talking about fixing the potholes and of the lighting, how it could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars. And I was just thinking, why can't they just attach like light poles to lights that we can just purchase at Home Depot? Why does it have to be an extremely large purchase?
That's a good question. There's actually standards that we have to follow for safety and engineering
Uh-huh.
that have to actually be designed. So they would have to be sports field lights. I understand where you're coming from on wanting to get need filled. But we have liability and responsibility to the public to provide a safe and appropriate lighting.
And I was wondering, so how long is the field going to be out for?
I believe it's going to be till the beginning of January.
And what are the improvements? I know they're going to fix potholes. Are they going to do anything else?
Okay, hang on 1 second, Beatrice.
Yes.
I'm having a hard time because they're talking again. I need to listen to Beatrice. Thanks. Go ahead, Beatrice. Sorry about that.
Oh, I said, what are the improvements that are going to include? I know I heard about the potholes. Are they going to do anything else?
So we're going to be looking at adding in seed and checking on we have to check the irrigation. But the main goal of having it rest is to take care of all the gopher holes and unevenness and the grass.
Okay. And are they doing anything to maintain the gophers out of the fields?
The goalposts?
The gophers out of the
Oh, the
fields?
gophers.
Yeah,
They're supposed to be. I don't know that it's being done, but I apologize. Yes, that's part of the gopher hole maintenance. Is to take care of the gophers. It is difficult to keep all the gophers out since we are surrounded by ag fields. We
Mhm.
have that same issue in Patriot Park. It's an ongoing effort that's pretty much nonstop, but we do the best we can, and we're going to make sure that the best they can do on the soccer field as well.
okay. And how about applying for, or I don't know if there's grant money for, I know there's grant money, but I don't know if we, the city has applied for anything to help with bleachers for the audience, for the
This is the
different.
first
fields?
time I've heard about bleachers for the soccer field.
Yeah, because I know, well, my kids were also in basketball and baseball has bleachers. Basketball has the indoor ones, but not, most, for all the soccer players, they always everybody just brings their own chairs or just stands around because there's no bleachers. And I was wondering if that has also been part of consideration, adding some bleachers to the corners and the outsides for the family members, which there's always family members that come to watch the games.
Yeah, as of right now, excuse me, bleachers were not a part of the plan. They would not be a part of the maintenance plan that I'm talking about for the rest period.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe that they are in a capital program for future use at this time.
And is the capital program changeable, or is it planned for a certain year?
It's a 2-year in advance plan, and so we will be going for it's for our entire city budget, 2-year budget. And so that'll be start happening in the next probably 3 months.
Can that be added? Could that be part of the 2-year plan?
It can be asked and
Because we did a lot of fundraisers as well. So I wonder, we haven't done much with soccer, but I wonder if that can be also a consideration, because I know for baseball, every single child was supposed to participate in at least 2 fundraisers to help pay for fixing the field and the lights and the little.
yeah, I don't know if the soccer has a board like the Little League does.
Uh-huh,
So hang on one second, Beatrice.
yes.
Can we, hey, excuse me. Sorry, can we just listen to one person at a time, please? So Beatrice was just asking about if there could be fundraising for bleachers.
Or even maintenance or anything else, just fundraising going on as well.
Right, so right now, I don't know if the soccer league has a board like the Little League does, 'cause I know that's how they set up their fundraising. Is that something that could happen? I don't know if it's part of that plan or if there's room for them, but that can definitely be brought up.
Okay, I think those were my questions. If that can be added, if I know the parking lot, but I know will take longer because I said to actually have parking, like concrete out there, because I know everybody that drives in there just throws all the dirt while the kids. But I know that's a bigger budget. I thought lighting would be a cheaper budget since it's usually not that expensive, but you're saying that certain protocol that the city has to follow.
Yes.
But can they look at different vendors? Can we find our own vendors and provide them to the city and see if that's an option
For
to
the light-
save the city budget? Uh-huh.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The thing with, when the city has to go out to bid, there's a different price structure.
Uh-huh.
That's a whole nother.
Because it just has to meet the city requirements for safety the protocol, right? But it doesn't, there's no,
To a certain, but then we also have a purchasing policy that has to be followed. And so there are certain trigger points where we have to actually go out to a public bid. and
huh?
Prepare documents for that. Higher wage than if you were just to hire someone to do it. The Fair Practices Act. So it gets quite convoluted. So that's kind of purchasing policies and the Fair Practices Act. But those are things that can definitely be brought up and see if it can be put into the plan. I can't guarantee it, but we're definitely willing to discuss everything.
Can the public request a Fair Practice Act to see what is detailed, to see how we can go about starting to fundraise for that, or, you know, how we can find grants for that along with the fundraising to eventually be able to provide the lighting?
Yeah, if it's fundraising and it's fully fundraised and donated, it can be done differently.
Mhm.
If it's all done by, like, say, the board, soccer board, little league board. So there are different methods. But yeah, I think that's maybe a conversation, Beatrice. I don't know if you saw my information up on the slide, if you wanted to contact me.
Okay. To try to get a copy of that information so we can kind of know how to start it and get it going.
Yeah, and maybe be a part of this. We're talking about having a meeting.
Mhm.
So about just having forward in discussions, and open up communications with the soccer family.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd welcome you to be a part of that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, community member, can you hear me?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Gabriela Mireles and I am part of the soccer family. My daughter is a soccer player and I'd just like to second all the comments that are being made, the potholes. I do think that it is very important for us to have a restroom, not exactly needed in the field, but if at least there be restrooms by the community center, because there's some that are in there, but when the soccer players are playing or when that center is closed, there is no bathrooms near the play structure. And I think it's important instead of having the children walk alone to the other side of the field, which is far way along. The lighting, I also think it's important. I don't think it's fair that the baseball teams get to have lights and the soccer players don't. I find that as a discrimination. Also, I'm wondering how it is it that you guys come about with the amount determined for each park, or the amount determined for the soccer fields? How do you guys make that determination of how much money is going to go where? And then the last thing is, what's the time frame that you can give us where we're going to see these changes so we can hold you in a sense accountable? Because I don't know if you knew, but all the city council members, all the people in the city, they always make promises and they never go through with them. So I think that's why even the little kid and me and a lot of community members are upset, because we are just given promises and nothing is happening. And that would be all. Thank you.
So I'll go ahead and address the latter part of your questions there. So for the next 2 months, we are going to be seeing progression because the soccer fields will be closed to the public for the rest period, and maintenance repairs with the gopher holes, gophers, and the sod. We're going to add seed. And so as far as that goes, you're going to see progress there. I am actually going to be involved with Scheid Vineyards to make sure that they are doing what is in their contract, and showing me exactly what's going on and accounting for that. And then we're also going to be, like I said, we'd like to start, communications with the soccer community, with the key members who, like the person before you who was speaking, talk about fundraising, different ideas, what's really important, who else is using the fields, what's important to them, and move forward with that, the budgeting process. Now, can we get it all done at once? No, because we have so many different things in the city. So we talk about prioritization, things of that nature. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to move this stuff forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
There was some of them didn't get your number.
Good day. My name is Flora, and I have a question or several comments. I know probably we shouldn't hold you responsible or point fingers at you right now. You're just new to the city or your job duties. However, who do we held responsible after all this sweet talk? The same thing that you have on your agenda, that's the same stuff that we've been promised by the city council, even city manager. They just left you there alone, not showing their faces, and we are angry at you now. But like I said, you're fairly new. We should be angry at the city manager, at city council. They haven't done their job. Now they're trying to be reelected again, putting their names on the ballots again. However, I don't think they did even nothing to our community, any changes that are happening or the promises that they made. It's just sweet talking our ears. It's blah, blah. That's all we see, but there's no action being imposed or done by them. So I don't think we should have them again in our community running or representing us because they didn't do so. So who do we hold accountable if these promises are not going to be made? It's been several years. This keeps on going on the agendas, but nothing really gets pushed forward. We just keep on hearing, oh, it's going to happen the next fiscal year. And our kids are growing. I mean, they need to be involved in sports. They need to be involved in activities that is going to get them out of trouble. It's not going to, all we see around is the cannabis. Do we really want our kids to be working with cannabis? No, we want them to succeed in life and be better than us. But we are closing the doors on them because then again, we don't have that transparency or the city councils really representing and hearing us out. There's also, I saw that there's going to be some street fixtures and there's going to be, it seems that you guys are just going to be putting like Band-Aid over them. They're not really going to be fixed. They're just going to be patching around the streets. I don't think that we need that. We need our streets to be fully fixed. Some of us homeowners are paying high taxes. I mean, it's not fair that we have a ugly street, like looking like a map and potholes everywhere. My family lives in 12th Street. I've been asking about the sidewalk and covering the potholes, actually making that street better there in 12th Street. All these kids passing through 12th Street and you guys are not listening to us. Like, who do we turn to? Chris Lopez is doing other stuff for other communities and he lives here in town. Like, where is he now? Where he always coming out in pictures, but not doing anything for us. All this staff that's representing us is not, and all these promises, we're just tired of it. So I think things need to start changing and start happening now, not next fiscal year, not in a couple years. And what about the rec center also? Did you guys already close on actually buying the property in Apple and 12th Street? I was supposed to get a response back from Jesus and I haven't heard from him. That's just gonna be a promise again in the air.
Yeah, I'm not involved in the negotiations for the purchase of that property for the rec center. The city manager has been doing that. And so I don't know where that stands right now. I can tell you that.
Like I said, I totally understand you're fairly new and they just threw you out there. You don't really know much, but this people that are supposedly representing us, they're not doing their job and they're just making so much out of our city, but not really, money's not going back to our community and making our community better. I think we're like the poorest community here in the South County. I mean, we have money, but it's not going back to the community. Just very upsetting. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Facebook. Live chat. I have a few comments on Facebook that I want to address. Sereno Moreno, how can we have access to the city's master plans? A majority of them are available online. If you are unable to locate one, please feel free to reach out to me and we can get that for you. Ivan Vega, can we make a task force to start cleaning the parks in order for our children to have safer playgrounds? I think Ivan, I might want to have some more information from you. I know we are constantly cleaning the parks. If you'd like to get in touch with me, I would be happy to talk to you about that and see where you want to, what other information you can provide. Isaiah S. Leon, you can get rid of those gophers by installing turf. It's actually how you build it, and you'd have to put wire mesh down. So if you're going to install turf, that's a whole nother issue if we were to take everything out and put it back in. Chica Cheek, see your comment about Patriot Park needing lots of improvements, play structures, more restrooms and maintenance to soccer and basketball fields. Thank you for your comment. Cristobal Hernandez, solar lights could be a solution. Yes, they'd still have to meet our engineering standards and safety standards. All right, yes,
The question.
yes.
Couldn't you, instead of seeding the field, roll out the, what is it?
Sod,
What's it called?
sod.
Sod. Can you do that? Do you think that would work out?
Well, with the way that the field is, it's better to seed it and talking to the church people. And it's gonna provide for a better end product.
Dice que va a salir mejor si ponen semilla. Que ha hablado con los que van a ocuparse de poner la arte y que va a salir mejor si ponen la semilla y que
Pero ahí de razón, cuando ya está guardando si pones semilla, va a estar
oh, there's uneven parts throughout the field. So.
Yeah, that's part of what we're gonna be looking at remedying.
Yeah, y eso te va a arreglar. Okay, bueno. O se va. Sí. Y las personas que voy a estar primero tienen que ver cómo está el okay, so whoever's going to be doing this work needs to look at the whole piece of land. To see the condition of it.
And that'll be part of our meeting with Shai.
That'll be part
Part of the meeting with Shai.
Yeah, eso va a ser parte de la reunión con Shai. O sea, van a comunicarse con Shai. So we talked about Shai last week, the last meeting.
Porque supuestamente Shine se encargaba de arreglar ahí, pero nunca se ha visto que Shine arregla.
Because Shai was supposed to be in charge of fixing these things, but they've never done anything.
Y lo que
And I addressed that earlier.
que lo sacamos a Shine
Why don't,
afuera y queda con el de la mitad de la cancha.
why don't we get rid of Shai and just let the community of Greenfield take charge of the field?
And that open for discussion. We can meet about that.
Sí,
And
podemos
discuss it.
hablar sobre esta
But it would not be right that it wouldn't happen right now. We'd finish out our contract.
Shai.
They're through the rest through, I think their contract goes through February 1st.
El contrato con Shai va hasta el día 1 de febrero. No va a pasar ahora, pero podemos hablar sobre la posibilidad de echar a Shai, pero el contrato va hasta el día 1 de febrero.
And again, it's open for, it's a discussion, not a guarantee.
Lo hacen en parking en la entrada,
Parking on the entrance.
digamos,
Entrada de que y tienen que pagar para.
lo hagan
So, something to do with parking at the facility there, with the soccer facility, they have to pay or something. Not. Then you could put some, you could have paid parking there, that way they could generate some revenue for.
That's an idea that we can pass, that I can pass
Una
along.
idea. Y el dinero para qué, para el mantenimiento. Oh, and then the money could be used for lighting or whatever other things we might need for the.
I can pass that information along.
Puede compartir esa información con los demás. Eh? Yeah, that could be helpful also, having paid parking.
Thank you.
Okay, gracias.
All right, this concludes our Streets and Parks workshop. Thank you all for attending. Have a nice evening.
Gracias por venir.